Shantihi. Om Bhadram Karneभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति शांति शांति। So from today, we will be changing the mode a little bit, and I will request all the participants to put on their videos at least for the first 5 or 10 minutes. Afterwards, it's optional. And we will start with some discussions. And that helps me to present myself in a better way. Okay. Otherwise, I know only a very few people, and what is the expectation from the audience, what they actually want to hear, and that helps me to decide the flow of my talk. I still have few more participants who have not put on their videos. Yes, please, everybody. Afterwards, it's optional. Then at the end, again, it will be, it should be on. Still, 1 or 2 more.
That's fine.
Some Narendra's iPad, whatever it means. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay, right. So I have a question now for everybody. What do you expect from the Bhagavad Gita when you come to learn or decide to learn or hear about the Bhagavad Gita? So what is your expectation? Other than possibly Rajesh ji, everybody has to answer one by one. And even if it is a long answer, doesn't matter. We will postpone it to, every participant will get a chance. Yes. Who would like to begin first? Yeah, please.
I have just a short. So for me, I would like to have a practical application in my life about Bhagavad Gita. So I apply day in and day out to imbibe Gita in me. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay, practical application. But then there has to be some expectations, right? For example, if I attend an Ayurveda course, then I have a slightly, that also has practical application in my life, okay, daily life. But the expectation is little different. There, I expect that some of my ailments, if I have any, they get alleviated, or how do I live a healthy life, etc. Correct? So what do you expect from the Bhagavad Gita? that way.
I mean, for me, like, I mean, in general, like when there's situations of difficult situations, when dealing with people or sorrowful situations, um, how can I be just in equilibrium, like, not feel, disappointed at something, or maybe angry at some, feeling of anger or that. I mean, I don't normally get angry, but I'm just saying, like, situations where you're not emotionally, attached to the situation and feel strongly about it, which a normal person would.
Okay, so I will
So to handle,
paraphrase.
day-to-day situations.
While interacting with people and in situations, um, I don't want to get bogged down, get disappointed, get affected, especially those situations which are not very pleasant. Correct? Did I say what you intended to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Then anyone
Like
else?
even be a medical
Yeah,
situation for somebody, like. Yeah. Thank you.
No, that is fine. Anything else you want to add? Your turn is still there. Amen. Okay. Anybody else? Next.
No, it's just basically, even if there's a medical situation that, yeah, how to handle that for some close member.
Yeah, medical situation emotionally, correct? Not medically. Am I right? Yeah.
Emotionally.
Correct.
Emotionally, exactly.
That's right. Then anybody else?
Namaste,
Namaste.
Acharya ji.
Yeah.
Namaste, Rajesh ji. I'm Kala.
Yeah.
My purpose for attending this particular class is to know the scripture in detail, to know myself. My goal is to attain that self-realization, self-knowledge.
Right. Okay.
So I need a little more. What you're teaching is great, but I would like a little more in-depth teaching.
Right.
Because that's what I'm looking for in this particular class.
Okay. Got it. And hello. Yes. Kala, right? You said Kala. Huh.
Correct.
So it will help me if you can post your questions if you want, in the group. And because the depth of the question will attract a deeper answer. Because if I find things are going over the head of people, and if there is no audience to what I am saying, then naturally those words get curtailed from my mouth. So that is why feedback in the form of a question, it helps, right? Because you have to understand, we are in front of devices. Okay, it's not that person to person interaction is there. Being in person around, many things become easy. But when we are in the front of a device, we are just in the dark. What is happening, whether people are listening or they are just keeping the video off and snoozing off or going somewhere else, we don't know. Okay, so that's why. Good. I like it. Fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Kalaji. I just wanted to add, like, we have the WhatsApp group, so that also you can use it to post any questions. During the weekdays is also fine. So those questions can
those
be
questions
addressed.
will be answered on a
We
Sunday.
want to make it more interactive, right? That's the whole.
And if the questions are not something very personal, then it helps even other people. Some people may not be so vocal or may not be so expressive, but yet they have something similar in their mind going on. So if someone else is asking a question which is there in my mind, then I also get encouraged to be more expressive or learn or keenly listen to it keenly. Correct? So it's a service, it's a seva when you ask questions in a group. Right.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Next.
Can I go?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please.
Let's see. So I'm interested in the application of the Gita when the assumptions, the underlying assumptions are somewhat questionable today. Without a well-structured Varna system. And then I brought up a point on a previous session where human agency itself is under question. And it seems like these are fundamental assumptions for the teachings of the Gita.
Right.
So, the application, how does it work in under this current environment? So.
Okay, I got it. I'll be very grateful if you can put it in words, the same question in the group.
Sure.
Okay, so
Sure.
Then my talk will be like adjusted accordingly.
You want me to put it in the chat?
No, on the
No,
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp group actually.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Correct. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Next.
Anybody.
Namaste, Navneetji.
Namaste. Yeah.
First of all, thank you for spending the time to teach us. I have to, start with that. In my case, my purpose is to keep on learning. This is very interesting, not just in terms of how I benefit, but there are ways where we can improve mentally, in terms of behavior, even reaction to certain things. So when you talk about in depth in terms of the dialogue between Krishna Bhagavan and Arjun, every time you touch upon some of these conversations, it is enlightening to see, how things have to be not interpreted, but how we have to even react to certain situations. So I find it always useful, and I'm always interested in learning. So I like to improve myself. There are a lot of things that are different from the practical side, where we live and how we have to handle. I don't mean just the family responsibilities, but things are different in different environments. So it's nice to learn different types of thoughts that we can implement in our life.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Anil. Yes. Yes, please.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I just want to be aware of the past and my scriptures, and I want to inculcate the learning that I gain from them in my life.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ask more questions.
Okay.
Because even to ask questions, you have to be prepared. Your question reveals how much you have prepared. Correct? If I'm totally unprepared, then everything will go over the head. So learn to ask questions. In fact, the whole of Bhagavad Gita is questions and answers.
True.
One question and then long answer by Lord Krishna, and he thinks now it's complete. He's just about to shut. Then another question starts. Then one more new chapter starts. Okay, so it's question and answer. Yes. Okay. Right.
Thank you.
Next.
I can go next.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm. My work is fairly stressful, and
Pardon, can you please repeat? I couldn't hear
yeah,
you.
my work is fairly stressful.
Right.
So when I read the translations and some lessons I get, it gives relief.
Right.
It tells me how to control the mind. Maybe control is not the right word, but at least handle the mind.
Right.
And I think Bhagavad Gita has the answers. It's just how I learn from teachers like you. That'll help. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Smitaji?
Yeah.
Namaste, Acharya ji.
Namaste.
So for me, I've been listening to Bhagavad Gita for a while, even with Paramarthan's audio texts and things like that. So I find myself, I enjoy the teachings, no matter how many times I repeat, and every time it's repeated and reinstated, I feel like, as you mentioned in the earlier classes, the confabulation or that part gets a little bit clear. So it's my Shravanam and Mananam. So it's just that every time I hear it, it's just my thoughts feel more aligned with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, which in turn helps me as a person, and as everyone says, reacting to the world and reacting to the situations. So that it's I just enjoy it and not really expecting anything from it, but it's just that it is helping me.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Thank you.
Then
Narendraji, you want to add?
Narendraji.
Hari Om, Acharya ji.
Yeah. Hari Om.
I have been listening to talks on the Bhagavad Gita for ages.
Right.
But every time I listen to a talk, there's always something new.
Right.
You know, it is like if you're having a different revelation.
Right.
So basically, I want to know more about life and living so that I can maximize my time in this life to achieve as much as I can and to have a goal that I can strive for. I know how difficult it is to achieve moksha, but at least I must be able to work along those lines so that in future lives I can get closer to that goal.
What is your concept of moksha, please?
That state in which you have complete freedom.
Right.
When you are one with the Creator.
Right. Great. And let me add to this, Narendraji. You already are. Only some conditionings helplessly keeps you away from it. It is like the story of the 10th man. How many of you know this story, the 10th man?
I think not that many here.
Not many here.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Okay, so if somebody knows, can you please share with us?
Okay. There are 10 people. There are 9. There are 9 people. No, 10 people.
Right.
And they were walking in the forest, and the Acharya was in the front, and then he wanted to make sure all of his disciples were behind him.
Right.
And so they he asked one of the disciples to count to see if all of them were behind him.
Right.
So the disciple counted, and he could only count 9 because he did not include himself in the count.
Right. Okay, I'll make it a little more interesting. The same 10th man story. So there was one teacher, Acharya, and he had 10 disciples. And they all requested that they want to go for a bathing in a river. So they sought his permission. So he said, okay, no problem, but somebody has to take the responsibility. You are 10 people, and somebody has to be a leader, and he has to take the responsibility that all 10 of you come out of the river and come back to the ashram. So one of the students raised the hand that, okay, I'll take the responsibility. So he said, okay, you go ahead, and along with you, all others will go, and you come back in 2 hours. He said, no problem. So all of them went, and they had a bath. After bathing, this fellow started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, from left to right, right to left. He kept on trying, and every time one person was missing. So he was very frightened. Now, where is the 10th man? So let us search for the 10th man. They tried searching, but they couldn't find. Then, seeing their problem, another wise person was coming out of the river. He understood the problem. He said, I'll find your 10th man. This person was, he was already tearful. So he said, I'll be very grateful. Please show me the 10th, the 10th friend, so that we all 10 of us can go together to our Guru. So then he took a stick in his hand and started counting, hitting the head lightly, tapping on the head, and started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And on this leader, he hit little harder. And this is the 10th man. So the one who was searching was himself the 10th man. So what does the story say? It is praptasya praptihi. Moksha is what? What is already available, the gain of what is already available. It is like I have a key in my pocket and I keep searching for the key everywhere. And then suddenly I put my hand again and I find the key in my pocket. So was the key anytime away from me? No. But due to some reasons, I thought it is not there. And then with some knowledge, I found it and I'm happy. So it is there with me. So that is what is moksha. It is already there, but we are so conditioned. And one of the major conditioning is the addiction. Which addiction I am talking of? The universal addiction. What is that universal addiction? That sense pleasure will only make me happy. So the addiction to sense pleasures. That addiction conditions our mind, clouds our mind so much that what is already available and what is our daily experience, is ignored and something else is taken as more real. And that's how we are away from moksha. So moksha is what? Deconditioning, unlearning, and then rediscovering myself. Okay, Narendraji, did I make it clear?
Yes, Acharyaji.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we will come back to the shlokas. Of course, last time we were discussing about, we took a diversion, but not such a big diversion. It was on the Devatas. And then we took up the Navagraha. We again go back to the class previous to that. Rajeshji, could you quickly open up those shlokas? I'll give you the number of shloka number.
Last to last, right?
Yeah, Annat Bhavanti Bhutani. 14, 15, 16 is together.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the cosmic chakra, cosmic cycle, based on the karma, yajna karma, not karma, yajna. And if you are listening carefully, the pronunciation is yajna. It's not yagya. The gya, which normally is said in the north, is a wrong pronunciation. It is a compound letter. Half ja, you understand? Ja without the akara. Ja with halant. Halant, you might be knowing. So keeping my tongue on while pronouncing ja, but not exactly pronouncing it. So I keep my tongue there and then pronounce nya, cha, cha, ja, jha, nya. So then it becomes nya, nya. Okay. So yajna, yajna, yajna. That's the nearest syllables we can put. So this is the yajna, cosmic yajna cycle. It starts from a small karma called yajna and moves through the whole cosmos and then culminates into yajna. How? It starts from yajna. From yajna, the rains happen. From the rains, food is produced. Then from the food, the whole world comes out. And then in this world, again, that yajna karma is performed. So yajna cycle becomes complete. And what is yajna? We have already heard about it. An act of offering, an act of sacrifice with an attitude of gratitude, acknowledgement, and connection. All of them are important because this connection word is very important. If the connection is missed out, then it will become like pleasing the gods. Now, pleasing the gods will become synonymous to like how in some of the Asian countries, we please the officials, we please the politicians. Why even in your countries, those things do happen. Maybe a lesser degree up to the official level, but politician level, it does happen to, now it is happening even blatantly. So pleasing the politician. Same thing like pleasing the gods. Okay, the devatas. I don't even use the word gods, the devatas. So it is not pleasing them. It is connecting with them. And that's a very different way of doing the thing. Okay, so we connect with the different devatas, and we have already discussed what devatas are. The devatas are all the intelligent elementals of this whole cosmos, this whole universe, the different principles on which this cosmos works. And these principles are not abstract or what I would say, a dead material. They are lively, they respond, and one can get connected to them. And yajna is a method of connecting with those principles. Okay, connecting and as if they are live people and we are connecting with them. So, and we get from them and we offer back to them. This makes the cycle complete. Why do we offer back to them? Offering is, I will say, symbolic. It's not that we get 1 ton of wheat and then we put all the 1 ton of wheat in fire as yajna. No, maybe a few grains, that's all. So it's more symbolic rather than physical. So symbolically, what we get, we offer back and offer our gratitude and show our connection with them. So this way, when we live, then we are aligned with this cosmic cycle. We are attuned with it and the life goes on. And anybody who doesn't follow this cycle or doesn't get aligned to this cycle, the 16th shloka says, then that person is living in vain, is wasteful life. And that's what we see. Because if my attitude is, look, I pay my taxes and that's it. Now what connection and which connection? I don't want to be connected with anyone. I have my own life and I live my private life. And once I close my door, it's my room, my privacy, and it's done. That's one way of living, yes. But the more you live like that, you start getting disconnected. So either you establish new connection, how pets, living pets, even stones. People use stones as pet stones. Do you know that? So because you need to connect, that need is there. And some people, if they don't connect that way, then of course, nowadays we have these devices and the social media and also we connect through them. But that's a different type of connection. Here we are talking of connection not only to human beings, to people, but to the whole of cosmic forces. And we get used to it and we really get connected. So that is what Bhagavad Gita mentions. Okay. And the one who is not connected gradually loses that much purpose of life. And the lesser purpose of life we have, the life becomes more heavier for us. It is boring. It is, that is where some people had said that how to manage my mind and how to not react in a difficult situation, etc. The seed lies here. It's not that when a difficult situation arises, at that time your mind is available for analysis, and many times it is not available. But if we prepare our mind before the such situations, how? When we are well connected, we are cheerful. We are cheerful with what? With my surroundings, with trees, with the nature, with everything, what I can see, what I can feel, and some certain things which I even can't even see. So when I start getting connected to such things, and I have a feeling of connection, my reactions to difficult situations, they tone down. Why? Because they become less significant in my life. Okay. And that is how, without putting an effort, I effortlessly, I get immune to difficult situations, or I become less reactive. Correct? This is what we want. And this happens how? Naturally, effortlessly, spontaneously. Next, please.
Go back to new one.
New one. So, on one hand, Bhagavan said, Lord Krishna said that the one who lives, who doesn't follow this cycle, which cycle? Of getting and then offering back, and living in a spirit of yajna. And we have also discussed previously, yajna sesta sinaha. Yajna sesta sinaha means one who eats the leftover after the yajna. Leftover after the yajna means after having given to all the participants or the stakeholders around me, then only I partake what is left over. So that is yajna avasista. Yajna avasista means the leftover of yajna. Okay. And asinaha means one who is a eater, one who eats that way. So one who lives like that, then that person is living meaningfully. Otherwise, he is living in vain, without any purpose. But in the same breath, in the very next sloka, in sloka number 70, he says, but listen, Arjuna, this rule doesn't apply to some people. Which type of people? Those people who are self-contented, who are self-satisfied, who know the self, and who do not depend upon anything or anybody for their happiness. Even though they depend on many things for continuing this body, but for their sense of fulfillment, they don't depend on anything. For such people, there is no duty enjoined by the scriptures at all. Okay. So, yes, yahatu atmaratihi eva syat, atmatriptascha manavah, atmani eva cha santushtaha, tasya karyam na vidyate. For him, there is no duty left. For whom? Atmani eva cha santushtaha, who is satisfied, contented within oneself. Atmatripta, who is self-fulfilled. Atmarati, who enjoys within oneself. For such a person, there is no duty left. Okay. Then further he says, naiva tasya kritena artha na kriteneha kaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kaschid artha vyapashrayah. So for such a person, there is nothing left in this world to be done, to be completed. And there is no sin is incurred when this person abstains from certain type of work or doesn't do some work, etc. Because no such sin incurs to this person. Why? Because really speaking, the small self, what we were talking of the moksha, the small self is no more there. What we generally use the word ego, okay, small ego, that is no more there. This person has discovered that this body is just an instrument, okay. Later on, in the 13th chapter, Bhagwan will say, idam shariram kaunteya. In fact, that idam shariram is such a, these two words for me are such powerful words. They are meditative words. Generally, it is aham shariram. What is aham shariram? Who am I? I am this body. No matter how much, whatever whoever says, deeply ingrained in me is I am this body. Instead of I am this body, aham shariram, it becomes for this person idam shariram. This is the body. I am different from it. When that understanding takes firm seat within oneself, as much that understanding comes, that much this person is free from any bondage of actions and is freed by the scriptures of any duties. Idam shariram means just as I consider this tablet, this iPad, this phone, and these devices, this house, etc. Similarly, this body. So even the body is considered as this, not me. When that understanding becomes firm, as much firm as any external object, a table, chair, wherever we are sitting, etc. Just as this table, this chair, this house, this tablet, this iPad, similarly this body. And I am just a user of these things, but I am not them. When that clarity becomes pakka, it becomes 100%. That is the time this person is freed from the sense of smallness, because then body is just another instrument. It has its own life. Just as when we purchase a device, it has its own life, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Afterwards, the battery starts draining out, the system starts hanging, etc., etc., and we know it's time to change. Similarly, if when I consider the body also in the same way, then that is what we call as moksha. But because of my identification with the body, idam becomes aham. Idam means this, aham means I. So this body becomes I body, me body. Okay? Body becomes me. Rather than body being my body, it becomes me body. And as long as that me body is there, then we have to follow so many rules. And what is the rule? The rule is the cosmic cycle of karma, the cosmic yajna cycle. Why when we don't have this understanding, then this rule, and that understanding, then no rule? Why this discrimination? Well, the purpose of the rules is that finally you achieve aham shariram to idam shariram. Right now, directly, if you keep on saying, if the identification with my body is so strong, no matter how many times you say, no, it is You are not the body, it is your body. You keep saying it's not going to change. So mind has its own way of interpreting things and deciding. Remember the elephant and the rider. No matter what the rider says, elephant has its own mind. Then there are indirect methods. First, you dilute your I-ness or the me-ness. Okay, I'm using the word me-ness. There is no word as me-ness, but the sense of me should get diluted. How? You start connecting. The more disconnected you are, the more becomes I am this body becomes very prominent in the mind. The more connected I am this body takes a back seat. It loses its prominence. And if it is done for a length of time, it gets very diluted. For that diluted concept of meanness, it becomes easy to get the concept of moksha. So that is why it is suggested that I connect with the cosmic cycle. If I don't connect with the cosmic cycle, my life is in vain. Why? Because it will become a weight on my life. My life itself will become a weight on my life. So to avoid that, we follow the cosmic yajna cycle. Tasmad asaktas satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hi acharan karma parama apnoti purushaha. We'll go in detail next time. Just I will touch this sloka. Therefore, whatever is to be done, you do it without attachment. And without attachment, we will have to understand what without attachment means. Because how can one do without attachment? So without attachment, when one does karma, one achieves param. Param means the supreme. What that means is left for next time. So in short, again, I will summarize. We still have few minutes here, and then we'll keep 5 minutes for question and answers. So for a person, I am the body, for whom this concept is very strong. For such a person, yajna karma and getting aligned to the cosmic cycle is important. Whereas the person for whom I am the body concept has got diluted, and it's no more there, and this is the body, I am not the body. This concept has taken ground very deeply. For such a person, it is optional. One may perform the yajna karma, one may not perform, and it is okay. Okay. So with this, we stop here and open the session for question and answers. Again, I will request videos on, please. Please, videos on. There are still few videos off. Yes. Any question? Anything which I didn't clarify? Of course, I cannot say, okay, please explain what did you understand, because then it will be a very long period of time. But if I get a question, that will help me understand whether I could make you understand. Or anybody who couldn't understand. Let me put the question in a different way. Yes. Yes, please.
Okay, so I think where you were explaining about emotional situations that if it's not as, when it does not become as significant for you, then, you can deal with it better. Like, you're not emotionally attached to it.
That's right.
So that is okay. Yes, but it's only if it's somebody like really close to you, then I find that, how do you make it less significant for you, Of course, one time you said that you think of rest of the people in the world who have that situation worse than that. One time you had mentioned that. So, but still I find like if it's a blood relation or somebody like that, you cannot really make it less significant for you.
Listen, one thing.
I don't know. I find it's a matter of getting to that stage, and I'm not.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. Suppose, okay, I'm just assuming a few things, and just to help answer your question. Suppose I have a close blood relation who's suffering from blood cancer and suffering, and I know the person may not live for long, and there is a lot of pain and many things happening, etc., etc. Definitely, it's a very painful situation. Now, if I am a person who have no connection with the outside world, I'm a person who is in the Indian terms, 9 to 5 office goer. Okay, in India it's 9 to 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In your country, it may be different. Okay, it may start at 8 to whatever 4 or whatever. Correct. So if I am a person who just goes to the office, does the work, comes back, and then is attached to this person only, and I have very few friends and I have few connections, and I'm just dependent. I never bothered to maintain relationships or even close friendships. Why? Because I was earning and I know I will get pension after my retirement. So why should I make connections? I don't need anybody, even my neighbors, I don't talk much. Okay. And pets and all are headaches. I don't want any one of them. Domestic help comes for dusting and all. The person comes and goes, and I don't even chit chat with this person. Then if I'm disconnected with so many people and I'm so much dependent on this person, my blood relation who is having blood cancer, definitely there is no way I can avoid the extreme pain which I go through when I see the other person going through. Do you understand what I mean to say? But if I'm a person who is well connected, who is connected with many social groups, and who receives a few phone calls every now and then, people ask advices, they come to house, they talk, they share the things, etc., whatever. Then with the same pain, I am less affected. Did I make it clear to all of you? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, it is clear. Yes, thank you.
This is the thing. This is the thing. The blood cancer of my blood relation
Thank you.
didn't change. The suffering didn't change. But because I was more connected with many more things, I could take it with lesser pain. And someday this person will pass away. And I will say, I'm finished, my life is devastated. Even those words I cannot say, because there is nobody to hear me, because I never maintained any relationship with anybody. Even for funeral, very few people turned up, because I never went to anybody's funeral. Do you understand what I mean to say? So then I will be quiet and no reaction, sitting quietly alone, and there's nobody to sympathize, and with nobody I can share. I will get into depression. even I may get into some chronic problem. But if I am more connected with people, then I will cry. Of course, I'll get sympathy. There will be some drama, of course, though that is part of it, part of grieving process. But then I'll start coming out of it. Okay, I will still have a picture of my beloved, and I'll still remember. Tears will still flow, but I will continue with my life. Otherwise, I am paralyzed. Why? No connections. I snapped my ties with everything. What my point? I'm just taking extreme views. Okay, it may not be the real case, but just to make my point across, I took the extreme view. Not that such people don't exist. I know such people. And for such people, I mean, they can't even express their grief. Closed. And when they express, they are incoherent. They don't know how to express because they never expressed. So connections do matter. And mind it, everybody will go through pain today or tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It's a matter of time. Someday or other, if I live long enough, there will be enough pain in my life. This is true with anybody. The longer I live, there will be enough number of pains. So then how do I prepare myself? Either I am a person who is detached with the body, if I am detached with my body, then I am detached with all the bodies, okay? Then the problem don't even exist. But if I am not, then what to do? Connect. Connect meaningfully, not for a drink. That connection one need not learn from Bhagavad Gita. There are other clubs. Correct? In India, we have Rotary Club and the Lions Club and all. Maybe in your country, there may be some different clubs. So you need not learn those connections from Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita talks of different connections. Connections which you have never imagined that such connections are possible. You open up through meditation. First connect with your own body, your own power centers. And then those yat pinde tat brahmande, whatever is there in the body, it is there in this cosmos. That's how you start connecting. For some people, it may be frightening in the beginning, but then that's how it is. And then you find that you are no more encased in this body. You as if you radiate out from this body. You are within the body and even outside the body. And when you practice all that, you will find which pain, what pain, everywhere there is pain. Okay? That dilutes the pain. Right? I hope I answered how connections can reduce the pain. Yeah. Any other question from anybody? Okay, we stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari Om.